Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking about the gear you need to shoot long exposure photos. The first thing you need is a camera, and you need a camera that allows you to take slow shutter shots. So typically most cameras, including DSLR cameras, allow you to shoot really long shutters in a variety of modes, including aperture priority mode and manual mode. Sometimes you can even go up to 30 seconds or more in long exposures. With DSLR cameras and some other mirrorless cameras, you have a bulb setting. The bulb setting allows you to basically do a long exposure however long you want because you are manually opening and closing the shutter with the click of a button. And so you'll need a camera that shoots long exposures. So check out your camera. I can't go over every single camera to show you exactly how to use the settings in your camera, so you might have to do a little research on your own just to make sure that you know how to do a long shutter speed. But you should be able to just go to the manual setting and slow down that shutter speed and see how long it can go. If you're going down into the 10, 20, 30 second shutter speeds, then that means you can do a long exposure. The second piece of equipment that you need is a tripod. Now here's a really cheap photo tripod. I'm using a sturdier tripod for the camera that I'm shooting with right now. And so that's the one I will take when I go out and actually shoot. But you need something that won't move. Because as we can probably guess, when you open up that shutter of your camera and you're doing a long exposure, you don't want your camera to move at all. Because what will happen? The photo will end up being a little blurry. Things will move and not the way that you want it to move. It will be because the camera shake, and you don't want that at all. And so you need a tripod that won't move during the long exposure. The next piece of equipment that you might want to purchase is a set of ND filters. Now this is a very cheap set of ND filters made by Altura, and you can get them online for $20 or so. You have to get them to the right size lens. So I'm using a 77mm ND filter right here for my Canon 24-70 lens. This is one type of filter that screws on. There are other types of filters that actually are a square plate that you can put on a variety of lens sizes. You just need to get the right attachment to your lens. Now these ND filters come in a variety of strengths. And so here in this set, I have what they call an ND8, I have an ND4, and an ND2. And with these, they cut down the light in different ways. And basically, you have to think of NDs as cutting down your light in f-stops. And so if you think about an f-stop, a full f-stop, cutting down your light by a certain amount, that's what ND filters are doing. So with an ND2, you are cutting down your light by one f-stop. With an ND4, you're cutting down your light by 2 f-stops. And with an ND8, you are cutting down your light by 3 f-stops. And so you can actually stack these, and so with this set, I can actually cut down light by 6 f-stops. And that will really help me out when I'm out during the day shooting long exposures. So ND filters is something that you will have to get if you are planning to shoot long exposures during the day. That being said, for this class, you don't necessarily need to do that. You can play around with long exposures at night and still get some amazing shots before you go out and get a set of filters. Glass filters are the best, but if you only have enough money to purchase a pair of plastic ND filters, try it out. It's cheap enough just to try out and see what you can do with it. I'm all about just using the tools that you have. I'm not about, oh, this type of filter is the best, you have to get this brand. I'm not at all like that. I truly believe you are the artist and these are just tools. And so, yeah, ND filters, that's the third piece of equipment. The fourth piece of equipment, which actually might be more important than your ND filters, is a remote. Now this is a shutter release remote that I can plug into my camera, and it allows me to press this button and actually shoot the photo without touching the button on my camera. Why would I not want to touch the button on my camera? Well, just the slight movement of my hand pressing that button will actually cause a little bit of motion in my photo, and I don't want that. I want to do it with either a wireless or a wired remote. And the other thing with this remote, which was only $7 on Amazon, is that I can actually use the bulb setting, which we talked about, to do a longer exposure for however long I need, which is really awesome. So I can just basically press and hold this, you lock it like so, and then unlock it when you want to stop your exposure. So this will come in handy when I need a very specific amount of time for my exposure. So those are the 4 pieces of equipment that I suggest you get or use in this class: your camera, a tripod, a shutter release remote, and a pair of ND or a set of ND filters. So that's the equipment you need. Let's move on to the settings you will use.